Hello everyone, here we are going to see about the Unit 5 Optical Communication System and Networks. In this slides we are going to see about the digital transmission system, how it is working and point to point links in this digital transmission system, everything. So first one is digital transmission system. So the simplest transmission link is a point-to-point link that has a transmitter on one end and a receiver on the other end. So the cost and the performance are two very important factors in the fiber optic communication links. So these types of links are used at a less demand on optical fiber technology. So the designer will carefully chooses the components in order to give the desired performance over the expected lifetime. Requirements. So for analyzing the link, the following requirements are needed. That is the desired transmission distance that is possible, and the data rate or channel bandwidth, and the last one is bit error rate. So the components and the characteristics are to satisfy these requirements, the system should be designed based on the following components, and their characteristics are given as first one is multi-mode or a single mode optical fiber, second one is LED or laser diode optical source, and third one is pin or avalanche photodiode. So the multi-mode or single mode optical fiber is, it will contains the core radius, core refractive index profile, bandwidth, attenuation and the numerical aperture. So the LED or laser diode optical source will contains emission wavelength, output power, effective radiating area, emission pattern, spectral line width and the number of emitting modes. And the PIN or avalanche photodiode, which will contains responsivity, operating wavelength, speed, sensitivity and efficiency. So the system considerations. So here there are two system consideration. One is selection of wavelength and another one is photodetector. First one, selection of wavelength. So in the link power budget, before selecting the suitable component, the operating wavelength for the system is decided. So the operating wavelength selection depends on distance and attenuation. So for shorter distance, the 800 to 900 nanometer region is preferred, but for longer distance 1300 or 1550 nanometer region is preferred due to the lower attenuation and dispersion. So the next one is photodetector. So the next step is the selection of photodetector. While selecting the photodetector, the following factors need to be considered. So first one is minimum optical power that will must fall on the photodetector to satisfy the BER at a specified data rate. Second one is complexity of circuit. Third one is cost of design, and the fourth one is bias requirements. So these are the system considerations of the system consideration of a digital transmission system. The main advantages of the photodiodes are, it is simple, need less bias voltage and less expensive and more stable with the changes in temperature. Next one is optical source. So the next step in the system consideration is choosing the proper optical source. For that, the following factors are considered. So they are signal dispersion, data rate, transmission distance, cost, optical power coupling and circuit complexity. So the spectral width of the laser output is much narrower than the LED. So in the 800 to 900 nanometer region, LED is used where the data rate distance product is limited to around 150 megabits per seconds kilometer. So the laser diodes will couple 10 to 15 decibel more optical power into the fiber than LED. So next one is selection of optical fiber. So some of the important factors for selecting the fibers are numerical aperture. As the NA increases, the fiber will couple to power also increases, which in turn increases the dispersion, attenuation characteristics, connector and splice losses and environmental induced losses due to temperature variation, radiation effects and dust and moisture on the connectors. Next one is design consideration. So the design consideration of two types. One is a link power budget and another one is rise time budget. So link power budget means there is the enough power margin in the system to meet the given bit error rate. And the rise time budget is each element of the link is fast, which is enough to meet the given bit rate. So these two budgets which will give the necessary conditions for satisfactory operations. So the next one is optical power loss model. So here an optical power loss model for the point-to-point link is shown in the figure. So the optical power received at the photodetector, which will depends on amount of light coupled into the fiber and the losses occurring in the fiber and at the connectors and splices. So here LC is the denotes the losses occur at the connector and LSP denotes the losses at the splices and alpha F denotes the losses in the fiber. So the link loss budget is derived from the sequential loss contributions of an each element in the link. So each of these loss elements is expressed in decibels as loss is equal to 10 log P out by P in. That is the optical power enter into the loss element and the optical power output from the loss element. So these link power margin will consider the losses due to the component aging. So this will be temperature fluctuation and the losses will arising from components that might be added at future dates. So here PT is equal to PS minus PR, that is equal to MLC N plus N LSP plus alpha L plus a system margin. So here PT is the total loss, PS is the source power, PR is the receiver sensitivity, M is the connectors and N is the splices. So the system margin is nominally taken as 6 decibels. Rise time budget. So the rise time budget analysis determines the dispersion limitation of an optical fiber link. So this is practically useful for the digital systems. So here the first one is total system rise time. So the total rise time is the root sum square of the rise time from each contributor Ti to the pulse rise time degradation. So that is T system is equal to T transmission squared plus T modulation squared plus T GVD squared plus T receiver squared, the whole power 1 by 2. So here the system spread is limited by 4 basic elements as transmitter rise time, group velocity dispersion rise time of the fiber, model dispersion rise time of the fiber and the receiver rise time. So that is equal to TRX squared, T transmitter squared plus 440 L power cube by B naught the whole squared plus D squared sigma lambda squared L squared plus 350 by BE the whole squared, the whole power 1 by 2. Here BE and B naught are given in megahertz. So all the times are in nanoseconds. Next one is transmitter rise time. So the rise times of transmitters and receivers are generally known to the designer. So the transmitter rise time is primarily due to the light source and its drive circuitry. Next one is receiver rise time. So the receiver rise time results from photodetector response and 3 decibel electrical bandwidth of the receiver front end, whose response can be modeled by first order low pass filter, which is having a step responses as G of t is equal to 1 minus exponential of minus 2 pi BRXT into U of t. So here U of t is the unit step input function and BRX is the 3 decibel electrical bandwidth of the receiver. So the receiver rise timer TRX is usually defined as time interval between G of t equal to 0.1 and G of t is equal to 0.9. So this is known as the 10 to 90% rise time. So the receiver front end rise time in nanoseconds is given as TRX is equal to 350 by BRX. Here BRX is in megahertz. Next one is group velocity dispersion rise time. So the group velocity dispersion rise time over the length L is given as TGVD is equal to modulus of D into L into sigma lambda. Here sigma lambda is the half power spectral width of the source and D is the dispersion. So to find the model dispersion rise time, the bandwidth Bm in a link of the length L can be expressed by the empirical relation, that is a Bm of L is equal to B0 by L power cube. So that is a Q is the parameter ranges between 0.5 and 1 and B0 is the bandwidth of 1 kilometer length of the cable. So based on the curve fitting of experimental data, the bandwidth Bm is given as 1 by Bm is equal to summation n equal to 1 to n into 1 by b power n the whole power 1 by q the whole power cube. So here Bn is the bandwidth of the nth section. So this will be given as Tm of n is equal to summation n equal to 1 to n Tn the whole power 1 by q the whole power L. So that is Tm of n is the pulse broadening occurring over n cable sections and Tn small tn is the individual pulse broadening. So this will be given as the equation. So next one is relationship between the rise time and 3 decibel bandwidth. So here we are assuming that the optical power emerging from fiber has a Gaussian temporal response and it is given by G of t is equal to 1 divided by root 2 pi sigma e power minus t squared by 2 sigma squared. So here sigma is the RMS pulse width. So the Fourier transform of G of t is given by G of omega, that is equal to 1 by root of 2 pi e power minus omega squared sigma squared by 2. So that is from the equation the time t 1 by 2 is required for the pulse to reach its half maximum value, that is expressed as WHM is equal to 2 t power t of 1 by 2, that is equal to 2 sigma into 2 ln of 2 the whole power 1 by 2. So here TFWHM is the full width of the pulse at a half maximum value. Next one is relationship between TFWHM and 3 decibel optical bandwidth. So the 3 dB optical bandwidth is defined as the modulation frequency f3 dB at which the received optical power has fallen to 0.5 of the zero frequency value, and it is expressed as f3 decibel is equal to b3 decibel, that is equal to 0.44 divided by TFWHM. So here the TFWHM is the rise time resulting from the model dispersion and it is given by T mod is equal to 0.44 divided by Bm, that is equal to 0.44 L power cube divided by B naught. So here T mod and Bm are expressed in nanoseconds and megahertz respectively. So then the equation can be written as T mod is equal to 440 by Bm, that is equal to 440 L power cube divided by B naught. So the next one is total rise time. So the total system rise time is T6 is equal to T transmittant squared plus T mod squared plus T GVD squared plus T receiver squared the whole power 1 by 2. So by substituting the equations into this equation, we will get T system is equal to T transmission squared plus 0.44 L cube by B naught the whole squared plus D squared sigma lambda squared plus L sigma lambda squared into L squared plus 350 by BRX the whole squared the whole power 1 by 2. So when all the times are given in nanoseconds, sigma lambda is half power spectral width of the source. So the dispersion in nanoseconds per nanometer to kilometer, and this is 0.07 nanoseconds per nanometer kilometer in 800 to 900 nanometer region. So this is due to the material dispersion for the dispersion shifted fiber, and it is given by T GVD squared is equal to T mat squared, that is equal to D mat squared sigma lambda squared L squared. Thank you.